Before you tell me that I'm wrong, answer me one question. Why did Jesus ever command his followers to hate the sinners? Yes, you got the answer, which is nowhere. And I know that you probably come up with a bunch of reasons why you dislike or hate LGBTQ people. You might have seen them being obnoxious, irrational on their debate or during interviews like from social media, right? But don't forget, one of the biggest things is that there are so many type and groups of people that are just obnoxious and irrational like that. Just some of LGBTQ people show their ideas or being irrational on social media. It doesn't represent the whole group. Mark 12:31. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Even if those people they are non-believers and they are sinful according to the Bible, if they were to participate in same-sex sexual activities, it doesn't mean that you are granted a permission to hate and persecute them. No, because the point of religion is to make people more united, more harmonious, to cooperate better so that we can live together peacefully. That is the whole point of being a theist. If you call yourself a Christian, you shouldn't hold hatred toward any groups of people at all. Christianity is not centered on judging others or punish non-believers or people who are sinful, but rather it is centered on your relationship with God. Moreover, you should treat others with dignity, with respect, whether they are white, they are black, Asian, homeless. LGBTQ people are also the same, no exception. Instead of looking outward how others people are, how others people behave, instead you should look inward, whether you are already a good person. Did you do good things toward your neighbor, your family, your friends? And most importantly, do you follow God's teachings? Even if non-believers hate your religion, you still should love them. Matthew 5:44. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. You can't expect your enemies to be moral when you still cannot. Even if the whole world is against you, they're trying to abolish your religion, which is Christianity, and all of these don't matter at all. What matters is that do you follow what Jesus teachings? I have seen it a lot where LGBTQ people are mistreated and hated simply because they are who they are. Don't forget that we all human are the image of God, including LGBTQ people. You should be merciful and forgiveful. In order for society to be better, you need to better yourself, not trying to change others. If you can't be a good person and expecting others to be morally righteous and better than you or on the same level, how's that even possible when you yourself still cannot follow God's teachings? Matthew 7:12. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. If you want them to treat you with dignity, then you have to be the one who started. The reason why the war keeps going on, arguably, mainly because of Christians. I see a lot of Christians, they go outside and trying to condemn them, shout out at the pride event, or even in some public areas where LGBT people they're just minding their own businesses, and some Christians they just walk up to them and say that like you were sinful, you were disgrace, whatsoever, which is not something that God would want you to do for sure. Whether they're immoral or sinful or not, leave ultimate judgment to God. One can't call oneself a Christian when one still harbors hatred toward LGBTQ people or still constantly verbally insults others. God's intent was never meant to persecute anyone. In fact, being a homosexual individual is not biblically immoral nor sinful. What a sin according to the Bible is same-sexual activities, which still has no correlation why people are granted to hate LGBTQ people, since it is not relevant to their relationship with God. That is the only thing that matters. And the reason why many people hate LGBTQ people is because of social media. They spend 6 to 10 hours daily on their screen, and some of their contents are anti-LGBTQ community, which is reinforced every single day. It is the same thing with this. If you were to spend 20, 30 years studying the Bible, you wouldn't come out and say that like, oh, I hate studying Bible so much. I don't want to do it at all. but you did it for 20, 30 years, which is quite a very long time. How can someone does something that they hate so much for that long period of time? It is very implausible and unlikely. Therefore, it means that you actually like the Bible, which is why you spend enormous time studying about it. Same thing with spending time on social media and you keep watching anti-LGBTQ community. I understand that like you will see some of LGBTQ people, they debated with someone and they kind of were irrational and just said something quite provocative, which triggers your emotion and you don't want them to be part of society, which is why you persecute them. However, as I said before, it is not a representation of the whole group of people. There are countless gay Christians and non-Christians out there that are kind, lovely, talented out there that are not portrayed on social media, which doesn't represent anything that you can see, which is why the only belief that you hold about LGBTQ people is mainly from social media. They acted obnoxiously and you just cannot stand it, which is why you just don't like it and you try to push them. Numerous homosexual individuals, what they truly want in their life are to be left alone peacefully without being harassed by any theists. If you as a Christian try to be on their shoes and the situation is the opposite, you as a Christian is the minority, maybe there are only 5 people that are Christians left on earth and the rest 8 billion people out there, they are LGBTQ people, and then they want to abolish Christianity. You also would feel bad and you also don't want it to befall upon your life. Even if that is the case, that only 5 Christians left on earth, it still doesn't matter because the only thing that matters is that your relationship with God and how you treat them. Do you provide to the poor? Do you share love? Do you serve God? And that is what really matters. If you remain faithful toward God and being a good private citizen and bear no hatred toward anyone, that is what being a Christian really is. One day, you won't stand before God and answer for someone else's life. Rather, you would answer for your own. The main question is not whether LGBTQ people followed Christ or not. The real question is whether you did. You don't want to spend the rest of your life being hateful and share hatred as a Christian. Even if they do harm to you, it still doesn't matter. What matters is your relationship with God. That's it. Be a forgiveful person. Share kindness. And when people see it, people might change to become a better person just like you. Be a good example for them. Not wishing that they will convert to be a Christian because it doesn't matter. And that is all for this video. If you agree or disagree about anything, you can comment down below. I really want to know about your opinion. So thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next one.